What's up guys? So welcome back to another bike review competition. We're gonna put a couple bikes head to head. But as always, if this is your first time checking out this kind of video, I urge you to pause the video right now and go watch the video that has all the information and the rules. There's a link in the description. Go check that out so you understand where all these numbers come from and kind of how it works. So this is the $500 to $600 tournament. The two bikes that are going head to head right now is the Kink Cloud versus the We the People Justice. Now there's a decent price difference here. The Kink Cloud is $599, where the We the People Justice is $520. So there's a really big gap, but if you guys have watched any of the other videos, you will know that I don't always pick the cheapest bike and I don't always pick the bike with the highest Dougsterbob score. So speaking of that, the Kink Cloud is 110 Dougsterbob score. The We the People Justice is a 97. There's more information about the Dougsterbob score in the description. You can download a master tracker that shows how all of these scores are calculated, and exactly almost every bike that I've ever reviewed is on there. So make sure you check that out. Now, before we get too in depth in the video, I want you to roll down into the comments and leave a comment telling me which bike you think is gonna win. And if you're right, you're gonna move on forward with the winner. If you're wrong, you're gonna go to the trash can with the bike that loses. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some of the important specs on each bike. So the Kink Cloud is full chromoly. It has 4 pegs, 0 hub guards, free coaster. It weighs 27.5 pounds, but that weight includes the pegs. And then it has double wall rims. So if you guys watch any of the reviews, there's extensive reviews on the Kink Cloud and extensive We the People Justice reviews on my website and on my YouTube channel. But I always talk about 3 things: full chromoly, double wall rims, and some aftermarket parts. I think that's really important for all bikes to have, especially for a mid-level rider. The Kink Cloud hits all those check marks. Now the We the People Justice is a tri-moly bike. And what that means is that the front triangle is chromoly. The top tube, the head tube, and the down tube. That back end is high tensile steel, and this can be a pretty big issue once you start doing big drops and learning spins. It has 4 hub guards, but it has 0 pegs, so it's kind of the opposite of the Kink Cloud. Very strange, but I mean, to be honest, hub guards are like $20 a pop. I think if that's a total ripoff, I don't understand it. And so, in all honesty, it's really cool that they include hub guards. Would have been cool to include a couple pegs, but you can get your own pegs. It weighs 25.75 pounds and it has 1 single wall rim in the front. So like we just talked about with the Kink Cloud, it did not hit the mark. It did not hit the same checklist that I go through, but keep in mind it's about $70 cheaper, which you should really take into consideration when you're shopping for a bike. Now the scores that these bikes got, honestly it surprised me because the Justice did somewhat good. You know, 25 look, 15 street, 15 park, 10 dirt, 17 quality. But the Kink Cloud did a little bit better in some aspects. So I'm gonna dive really deep onto those. The first thing is the look score. So the Justice got a 25 and the Kink Cloud got an 18. The reason for this is, one, I think the Kink Cloud looks ugly. I'm not a fan of that colorway, and that's personal. You know, if you love the color, ignore that, totally ignore that. But another thing is that the Justice comes in 2 different color variations. BMX is all about options and being able to choose what resonates with you. So the Kink Cloud, you're stuck with 1 color option. The Justice, you've got 2 options, and I think they're pretty sick looking options. The Ghost Gray and the Taxi Cab Yellow, those are both sick. And the other thing I look at with the look score is how customizable is the bike. Both these bikes are very customizable. So you can replace the pedals with any aftermarket pedals. You can replace the tires with any aftermarket tires. It's not like a Walmart bike where 99% of the parts sold on a certain shop, you cannot just put on on a Walmart bike, but you can put them on these bikes, okay? The second thing is the street score. So the Justice only got a 15 and the Cloud got a 27. What I look for in these scores is, does it have pegs? Does it have hub guards? Is the quality strong enough to withstand big drops, big gaps, or just kind of gnarly street riding? And are the tires okay in street? Just things like that. So the Cloud can withstand any kind of gnarly street riding that you can give it. It comes with pegs, but no hub guards. So that was a little deduction there. The Justice comes with the hub guards, but no pegs. But sadly, the quality to me just doesn't hit the mark. And it will break over time, especially as you progress and start to do more gnarly street riding. It's going to break a lot easier than the Kink Cloud will. But the reason this one got way more is because it has a free coaster. So if you guys know anything about my reviews, I talk about that a lot. The free coaster is generally a thing sold with bikes that have a street focus. A lot of street riders love the free coaster to roll backwards without pedaling, and I did a really in-depth free coaster video explaining that. If you're a little confused, check that out. But the free coaster is nice and very helpful for street riders. Now the park section, the Justice beat the Cloud, and the reason for that is the geometry. So does this bike have gyro? Does this bike have a responsive build that's going to make it really snappy and responsive for technical park riding? Are the tires any good? Can it hold up to some big crashes? The Cloud is a more mellow bike. It has a 13.25-inch chainstay, which is going to make it easier to control manuals, but compared to the 12.75, I think, chainstay on the Justice, it's not going to be as snappy. It's not going to be as responsive. Spins are going to be very easy on the Justice. The Cloud is going to feel kind of sluggish when you're getting into spins. The head tube angle on the Justice is also 75.5, which is a very steep head tube angle. So overall, the geometry of the Justice is catered more towards that technical park riding. It has holes drilled for gyro tabs, but it doesn't come with a gyro. Neither does the Cloud. While neither of these bikes are actually designed for park riding, the Justice is going to be a little bit better if you decided to make that your choice. Although you should look at some of my reviews about park specific bikes and find one that fits you right if that's what you're looking for. Okay, in the dirt section, the Justice again beat the Kink Cloud. And one of the main things that concerns me with dirt on the Kink Cloud is the free coaster. So free coasters are great. We love free coasters unless you're doing some dirt jumps, you case the jump, and you need to get enough speed to go from here to clear this next jump. If you case it, you're going to start pedaling right away. The free coaster is going to have slack. So you're going to pedal and it's not going to engage until about half a crank, which is a big problem. Half that crank is wasted. It's like you would not use a free coaster for racing because you don't get that instant engagement. You really don't want to use it on the dirt jumps. So again, neither of these bikes are very good for dirt riding, but the Justice is just a teeny tiny bit better. The most important thing is the quality section. The Kink Cloud destroyed the Justice, no questions, because full chromoly, double wall rims. This is a much better bike. It has a handful of Mission aftermarket parts, handful of Kink aftermarket parts. The Justice has that single wall rim. The frame is not even full chromoly, but it does have a decent amount of aftermarket parts. It just does not even come close to the same amount of quality as the Kink Cloud. Again, though, keep in mind the $70 price difference. Like, maybe you could save $70 and get $70 worth of upgrades to make your Justice as good as the Cloud. That comes into play when I get to the end of the video and decide, would I buy this bike and which bike should move forward? So let's get into that. Now we'll start with the Justice. This is a very responsive technical bike. It's best for street riding, although you can do some park and you can do some dirt on it. The technical aspect of it is best if you're trying to be a rider like Jake Seeley, somebody kind of technical in the streets, but It is a $520 bike without full chromoly, so I would recommend that you're riding at the beginner level, just barely peeking into the mid-level, because once you start doing mid to high level tricks, the Justice is going to break. So if you're a lower skill level rider that wants to do technical stuff, the Justice is a good choice, even though it's not really the best value. The Kink Cloud is a very expensive bike, so you should be pretty serious about BMX and be willing to drop $600 on a bike. You should also be kind of more controlled and flowy in terms of what you're looking for. Like Gary Young is a perfect example of a street rider who would ride this kind of geometry. And you can also take this bike and do mid-level tricks with it without worrying about things breaking. So if you're a mid-level rider looking for a bike that gives you a little more control and a little more flowy looking style, the Cloud is going to be the better choice for you. So, which bike, if I had $600, which bike would I buy? And sadly, I'm going to go with the Kink Cloud. I thought about the Justice because of that $70 price difference. But for $70, you cannot upgrade to a full chromoly frame. Just a full chromoly frame alone is going to cost you around $300, and that is a lot of money. So you can just spend an extra $70, get a full chromoly frame, double wall rims, and yeah, and I'd go with the Kink Cloud. So if you typed Kink Cloud in the comments, congratulations, you were correct. If you typed We the People Justice, you lost, you're out of the bracket. Guys, the Kink Cloud is going to move on to the next round and face either the Sabrosa Malum or the Sabrosa Letum, whichever one wins. And if you guys want to check out the full in-depth tournament for this $500 to $600 price range, I'll put that up at the end of the video. You can watch me run through every single bike until we get all the way to the winner. If you guys just want to be a part of the community, come hang out with us on the lives that I do once a week. The only way for you to get notified is if you subscribe and hit the bell so YouTube can tell you that I'm going live. You can come ask your questions and hang out. It's a really good time. Thanks for watching the video and thanks for being a part of the community.